Good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are getting our signals from. This is your favorite talk show that comes your way on SS Media. Today, I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Alasana Jeng, a student of the University of the Gambia School of Business and Public Administration. And the topic we have today that we are going to discuss is like why the migration, in quote, the back way. As we all know, every year, dozens of our youths or hundreds of our youths dive into the Mediterranean to get themselves into Europe, Italy, and Spain. And this has been a challenging issue for the Gambia, not only our Gambia, but Africa and the world at large. But today, our discussions will be centered on Gambia. Why the youths taking this path? Why are they sacrificing themselves to get themselves into Europe? What is happening? Why is it that we don't have enough space to gather these to cater for these youths in our economic system or in our labor market? Or is it that the youths have been marginalized? Now I will give the floor to Mr. Alasana Jeng to introduce himself, then we will get into the discussion. Mr. Jeng.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Koli, for having me. Thanks to the SSFD media for also having me on ground to discuss these most important topics today, not only in the Gambia, but Africa at large. It's important, before I go straight to the point, for us to have a little bit of reflection on when did this journey begin. We fully understand that the journey begins in the early 2000s. Then it started to peak in 2010, 2011. But these past days I have been thinking, is it because the Africans are defeated by the Europeans or not? Because if you look at very well, Libya was a place that, it was well situated for Africans. It was developing, and then the place was controlled.
Yeah.
Even though there was bagway, but it was controlled. I want to believe perhaps the white, they think ahead of us, and they succeeded destabilizing Libya. They opened a gate for our African youths, because we all know they don't want the African people to be successful. They don't want to see us being progressive. So they decided to destabilize Libya, open a door for our youths to go and risk their life along the journey, because they know the African youths are really eager to leave Africa and advance to the Europe for a greener pasture. So these are things that I believe the African leaders need to look into. They have to protect the African territory and then to protect the youths. But again, if you look at most of the causes of these illegal migrations, it's important we come to it. To me, it is caused by different factors. And there are different parties also that I think must be held responsible here. Normally, people will only put a blame entirely on the government. But I also want us to look at it in this perspective so that we can have a balanced argument here. We can blame the government, we can blame individuals, and we can also blame groups of individuals.
Sure.
I think it will be fair if we put it in this way. At government level, I want to blame, like you said, the youths have been marginalized, and they have been ignored also in another way around. The resources they need have not been given to them, because I want to believe in the Gambia, especially here, our resources have been micro-managed by few individuals. If you look at it, unemployment is one of the causes of the illegal migrations, which I believe the government is not doing very well to make sure these youths are accommodated here. I believe our youth should be accommodated. They need to create more jobs so that they can be absorbed. You understand? And the second thing I want to believe is the curriculum, our education system. I think we need to reshape it. It does not really fit for the youths, because if you look at the curriculum, it is not in line with the available jobs in the market. You and I know, as a university student, I'm only subjected to soft skills. Maybe I'm only good in speaking, public speaking, and then the like.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not armed with technical skills. At the end of the day, when I'm done with my university program, the only thing I have is my certificate. Which market or which industry is going to absorb me? It will be very difficult. unless when I have a job to sit in offices and then do the normal routines that is going on in the Gambia. And this is one of the reasons why the youths are desperate. This is one of the reasons why most of the youths who even get graduated from the University of the Gambia will even risk their lives using this journey. This is the problem.
In fact, I remember one of my friends, back from college, he embarked on this
they will go
to Spain.
Definitely.
So, I mean, talking about our education system, you did mention about the curriculum doesn't fit the purpose that
Exactly.
we really need. I think I have reasons to believe that, given what we learn from nursery, primary, over senior, up to university, I think it's a repetition
Of what
we are doing.
Yeah.
So
And
think that,
for me, I believe our education system, we just have levels, but there is not much difference of what we have been learning, right from primary to grade 12. You advance to the university also, is almost the same, because even if what they will teach you at the university, you are more subjected to Western ideology,
Yes.
Western economy, and then things like that.
So do you think it's time for Africans to be learning African ideologies in African schools rather than trying to get into Western life?
Well, I believe not about African ideologies, but innovative is something very important,
Innovating.
which is not incorporated in our education system or curriculum. This is the point. Let's say if you come to the science areas, we have students pursuing science as studies. At the end of the day, what can they discover for us? Nothing, absolutely. You know, we are good in balancing chemical formulas, drawing, labeling parts, and then the like.
Yeah.
This is the hard fact. But at the end of the day, we are not good in innovating anything. We cannot create. This is the problem. And we are made to believe that, the West came here and told us that education is better than gold and silver.
Wow.
So they succeeded in stealing our golds and silvers and left us with a vacuum of education that is empty.
Busy turning papers over.
Exactly. This is what we are good at. And I believe the government have to look into this issue. When we talk about education, we don't only mean the levels, upper basic, senior school, lower basic, and then the like. When you go to Europe, you see children at the, let's say, at what we call upper basic here, can innovate, can create something very, very, good. And at the end of the day, they see themselves being absorbed in the system.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, they will become scientists, they become job creators, and then the like. So unfortunate, we have a system that made us to believe that we must be job seekers.
Yeah. Sure.
And it's very sad. And the other thing also, I want to believe some of our sectors are very weak, like the agricultural sector. I don't know. I want to believe we are deceived. Our leaders are not really fair to us. I always tell my colleagues, sometimes most of the workshops that they engage in, to me, is very useless. It's not really useful because they use those workshops as a bait to use some of our monies there instead of investing it heavily into our agricultural sectors. We need a live practice of what we call agriculture, not just holding symposium workshops. At the end of the day, participants are given, let's say, 200, 300. Then such projects, you will never hear them or you will never see them again. They are gone. I want to believe if the agricultural sector is good in the Gambia here, trust me, there will be a lot of jobs that will be available. I mean, a lot of jobs. Because through the agricultural sector, I believe most of the raw materials, especially if we also incorporate what we call trade substitution industries, so that some of the goods that are created outside can be processed here. We take our agricultural produce, process them here. These will create avenues. They create more job opportunities for the youths. At the end of the day, they will feel a sense of belongings. They will be part of the economy. They will contribute. I believe this is also another part. The agricultural sector is very weak, and we want stakeholders to really look into these loopholes because it's not going fine with us. We keep championing agriculture, but I'm not seeing any development. To me, are we farming? Maybe the subsistence farming. Gambia in this context, in fact, I will label Gambia as a subsistence farmer. with respect to other countries.
Yeah.
Just like how the government will see us individually as subsistence farmers. Gambia is a subsistence farmer with respect to other countries in the world. Because at the end of the day, are we exporting?
No.
We are not exporting. And even the homemade products here, produce here, it's difficult for the government to even buy it from the local farmers and then help them to export it or to process it. This is the problem. We have a big problem, and I believe we should try to graduate from those things.
You're trying to put it in this way that, well, through agriculture, we can try to curb illegal migration.
Of course.
Through agriculture, many youths can be absorbed into the system.
Yeah, exactly.
If you see so, one might think, well, there is support, there is big rice fields around the Upper River region and Sierra, respectively. One might say, well, the government bring up these avenues to absorb youth, but in another way around, somebody may see it, well, perhaps the avenue is there, but the youths don't want to get into agriculture. Do you think that ideology is something that, do you think that saying is something that you subscribe to, or are you seeing it in another way around, like there is an avenue, but the youths are not encouraged to enter into that?
Well, I can substantiate that because Sako rice fields and other rice fields are not big scales, rice fields that can really absorb the youths. What mechanism have the government put through to make sure that the youth will be motivated and then be part of these farming activities? This is the point. Are these rice fields or whatsoever employing youths? Because I want to believe there are a lot of youths who remain unemployed. Today you offer them jobs, they will take it. They will. I want to believe the agricultural sector, the rice fields in particular, are not tailored in a manner that Gambia is willing to produce a lot of rice. Because you and I, what kind of rice do we consume? American rice.
Imported rice.
The imported rice. Do we consume rice coming from Sapo or whatsoever?
No.
So where is the rice going? Maybe it's only limited within few families around those areas.
But in that context too, Mr. Jeng, somebody might say, well, Gambia or African in general will prefer something that is being imported rather than something that he or she has at his disposal. Don't you think so? That is also another issue.
Maybe Africans, especially in the Gambia, we have a syndrome of inferiority. This is a big problem, and I think it's time we graduate from that. And it's important people to know the local produce goods are more even healthier than most of the things that we import outside. It's very important, and this is where patriotism also lies, right? In as much we want development, in as much we want to own our own things in this country here, we must be willing to participate, buy those things, consume it, and then feel pride of what we own.
Of what we own.
Yeah, because sometimes, because it is called local, people felt like maybe it's inferior. It's inferior. Yeah. So we prefer things international because we feel it's more quality and genuine. But there is a whole different thing. And I believe it's right we try to throw those ideologies far away, come back to our own things, and then develop our nation.
The next point that I want to discuss with you is like, we've talked about many issues that are responsible for this illegal migration. So you did mention about a group of people that are responsible for this illegal migration. You talked about the government. We've talked about agriculture, how it can curb the situation. Now talking about a group of people, one may wonder, how is it possible that a group of people are responsible for youths, for the youths embarking on this journey?
Yes, I would love to substantiate that.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Gambia today, I want to believe people are taking advantage on the masses.
On the masses again.
Let's say you have a project. In your project, you clearly outline is going to benefit a large number of people or a community or a society. But at the end of the day, what you do is just organize a 1-week program, 2 days workshop. You understand? At the end of the day, the only thing you offer to the youths is a certificate. A mere certificate. And the resources were made to make sure you create a job avenue for the youths, give them money, you understand, to start a small businesses and grow. But here, I want to feel like people are taking advantage on Gambians. We are taking advantage on our own people. Look at it. How many mentorship programs do we have here? We have to be honest. A lot of mentorship programs. A lot of projects have failed in this country because people consolidate individual interests over the general interest. This is the point. You ask a lot of youths here, how many mentorship certificates do you have? They can count up to 10.
I have a fine field of certificates.
Yes, ask them whether it have aligned with their skills. They have zero. Those certificates are just there to label them as people have participated in this.
Yeah, and in fact, enrich their CVs.
Enrich their CVs.
Up there's no.
But it will never be in line with their skills. And what this group of individuals will do now? Take a picture of the masses, send it to their sponsors.
And they are earning money.
They are earning money through the masses. So it's like people are trading us. So now you look at people like I and many other people, you'll try to say, come on, what is the essence of all these kind of things? We are having certificates, 10, 15 certificates from various mentorship programs, from various projects or workshops, but we cannot even have a job. I want to believe that this group of individuals responsible in this aspect must be blamed, because they are also denying the youths from being employed or giving them the opportunity to start a job or a particular avenue that can accommodate them in this country.
All right. Another point that you made mention of, we've talked about the government, agriculture, and a group of persons that are using our masses to earn a living from that. Now, somebody out there, let's say in the provinces, might wonder, don't you think also peer influence is another big factor to these illegal migrations?
Yes, that is when we come to individual level now. Peer influence, and then the love to live a luxurious life.
Luxurious life, yeah.
The love to be seen as important person in the society, because Gambians are seeing it as a pride of someone who have went to Europe.
In fact, we are not society where if you don't travel, you are not riding.
You are
luxurious cars. You are not. You are seen as an inferior person.
You are seen. That's how the society treats people. We marginalize our own people. We understand. The society have contributed greatly in forcing people to transit through this backward journey. And in as much we are advocating, in as much we don't want our people to fall victims of the risks that lies along this journey, we must not also be the very perpetrators that will engine them to take the journey. And again, I believe there is lapses of contentment among people. You will realize that some of the people that are applying this journey, some of them are not people whom you know that they lack jobs or they lack resources. Sometimes you see people from a very good background, very good family using this journey and then doing it. You see someone leaving his very good job in this country and then going. And at the end of the day, they will not make it, they will die.
They will die in the oceans.
I believe contentment is also very important. We have to be content as human beings. Growth is a stepping stone. Those people living in Europe will actually not tell you all the challenges they are facing. Maybe you only see the good side of this. You see the pictures, the dress code, they
if they come on holiday,
everybody wants to associate with them.
You want to associate.
Yeah, so you felt like, come on, I also want to be like you.
I want to be like you.
I want to feel that sense of belongings. I want people to feel me. I want to have people around me.
Yeah, you want to have people, around you. They will cherish you.
Exactly.
And celebrate you. Because knowing the struggles that you're going through. Perhaps others in Europe are doing a job that is, that if they are in the Gambia, you offer them those kinds
of jobs, they will not do it. They will not do it. So this is why it's very important we think about this. I swear there are people in Europe that those of us who are staying in this country are far enjoying more than them. This is the hard fact. And there are people also leaving their jobs here, trying to take this journey because they have seen Mr. X is dressing nice or whatsoever, and they want to be in the same thing, not knowing the kind of job that Mr. X is involved in. Some of them are really trying very hard in Europe there. And if you could sit with some of them, they will really tell you the difficulties and the challenges they go through. So I think sometimes the society tend to portray the beautiful side of this journey, and then not trying to go deeply about the risks associated in
that
it.
is associated.
So I think we have to be content. We should also try to hold on the opportunities we have at hand here, try to see how we can expand it and then grow. Like I said, let us not be in a hurry. Growth is a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone.
Together we can grow.
In fact, there's a famous saying that, well, a journey of 1,000 miles begins in a step. So we have to take a step before we will find ourselves out there.
Quite true.
Important thing, they say there's this feeling at the family level that, well, one that is not rich is not even seen as a genuine member of the family.
Yeah.
People like us that are from the villages, we've seen different types of family settings. We've seen how moms parents are even forcing their kids into this journey.
Yeah.
And they're not even interested. Perhaps sometimes you give your kid $50,000, it's $45,000 to pay for this journey. I think it will be wise if we create a little shop for that guy with that $50,000.
I think that is very important. This is why sometimes I don't know how we think as people. Last time I met with someone, he's far older than me. No, I respect him a lot. He was trying to tell me the amount of money they spend on his younger brother to apply this journey, more than $100,000. Sometimes they will be kidnapped, understand? And then the family must be asked to pay a particular ransom for the boy to be freed, and then the like. More than $100,000. Imagine if that money were used to start a small business or a particular avenue. That is going to be a big achievement for the boy and then the family. Sometimes I felt like it's not because we are faced with difficulties in this country. Because of the pursuit to live a luxurious life is what is driving the youths to go. And again, sometimes your family will not even tell you you are not trying, but they will behave in another way around, or the society in general.
You feel
to tell you that you are useless for staying here.
Useless for staying.
Yes, nobody will want to associate himself or herself with you, because they have portrayed an image that those in Europe are more important than you, more valuable than you. They have achieved this and that, and you are still here roaming. So the society indirectly is telling you, use this journey and go. And we have to stop marginalizing the youths. Let's make them feel good in this country. Let's see how we can help them to improve. I think it's very important.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jeng, for that point. We have to encourage the youth. We have to make them feel they are part of us. No matter how you see an individual, you see him skillless, you don't know what tomorrow might bring to him. So you don't have to take advantage of other people's situation to marginalize or treat that individual the way you want to. Now we've talked about some of the issues that are the factors that are contributing, that are forcing these youths to take this path. Now we want to dive into what do you think can be done to stop, if not stop, but reduce significantly the amount of youths that are living in this country.
Yes, I think before we go to the recommendation, let's talk about the risks associated.
The risks, exactly.
I think it's very important.
Risks,
because sometimes the risks are camouflaged. People don't really know what is on the ground. I have not gone through the journey, but I have at least engaged some people who have went through the journey. And then through my findings and making follow-up, because I love to make follow-up, international news and then the like. There is a lot of risks. The Sahara Desert risk is there, the Mediterranean Sea risk is there, and the traffickers risk is there. These are three categories of risks involved in this journey. Now, if you come to the Sahara Desert, normally most of these youths that take this bagway are dehydrated. Yeah, they are dehydrated because of the limited food and water they have at hand. Some of them might not make it. And at the end of the day, heart stroke might just strike them and they end up dying. You die in a very miserable manner. Nobody is there to help you, to support you, alone in that desert line. It's very sad, honestly speaking. It's sad, and I encourage the youths not to use this journey. It does not worth it at all. Understand? And the other thing also is abandonment. They are normally abandoned by people, by these in fact smugglers. Normally, when they go up to the middle of the Sahara desert, let's say the vehicle is got a break, they are left there, and the smugglers will find their ways. So it's either you trek or you walk or you find ways for yourself under that scorching sun. And most of them don't normally make it. They end up dying along the way. These are risks associated to the Sahara desert, and I think it does not worth it. The life you have is worth than any other thing that you are looking for in this world. And when you come to the risks associated to the Mediterranean Sea, drowning is one of the biggest risks.
Many people drowned in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, they drown. They drown at the end of the day. Some of the bodies will never be seen. The ones that are seen are either buried there, and the family will never see it. And then at the end of the day, you will leave a trauma on your family, particularly on your mom and dad, that will never bring them to normalcy. Never. And I think the youths have to think about this. And the other thing is it hypothermia? Something called hypothermia again, concerning about the cold associated with
the cold in the Mediterranean.
In the Mediterranean Sea, because they are exposed to these, harsh
weather
conditions to the sea or to the coldness. Some of them are affected. They will not make it, even if they don't drown, but they will not make it at the end of the day. And this is why sometimes you will see Mr. X have make it to Spain or Italy or in Europe, but within few months or few years, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. You will never hear about the individual again, because the system has been damaged. It's been damaged through the weather condition, or he's been mercilessly beaten by the smugglers or whatsoever. And that will take me to the next risk that is involved concerning about these human traffickers. We all know how they operate. So they will subject you to a risk and then traumatize your family. These are the two things.
In fact, some people do have this belief that these human traffickers normally play a scam game on our people.
Yeah, they do.
I have interacted with many people that have taken this journey, and I remember having a conversation with one guy who was like saying the brother embarked on this journey to Libya, but he died. And this smuggler was this agent was collecting money from them on two different occasions without knowing that this guy is already dead.
That's what they do. Sometimes you will die, and your family will not be told about your demise, but all they are interested is how to gather money from your family or your relatives. That is one of the things. Your family will lose resources. They will be traumatized thinking about you and your whereabouts. And I believe they have to think about this. And also, violence, gangs are also involved between the traffickers. Sometimes they will fight, and then you people could be involved in that fight. Yes, they can use you as a human shield to do whatsoever they want.
To cover up themselves.
And these are all risks that are lying plain on this journey. And to me, it does not worth it. Like I always said, we can make it here great. If we think rationally, we can do it.
All right. Thank you very much. We've discussed about the risks that is involved in this journey. Now, one might wonder, putting into consideration these risks, people are still embarking on this journey. So I have this belief that, we have to sensitize the youth. We have to talk to families, let them feel that you can be in this country here and you live a very good life. Living a good life or living a happy life, I don't think it's about the resources that you have at your disposal. It's about having that small thing that you manage for yourself. You're able to keep up yourself, and you're able to take care of your family, and you live a peaceful life.
Exactly.
And that will take us to the first break that we will have, and we will get back to you. We will come back after the break. Do keep following and liking our pages.
Do you have a dream of becoming a video editor, graphic designer, or WordPress web developer? Our digital skills training courses at skills.gm will help you in making your dreams a reality. We provide intensive hands-on courses that can help you harness the creativity in you. Our video editing course will enable you to create professional videos for home, work, or for social media handles. Being a graphic designer is among the most rewarding digital skills nowadays. We will help you acquire relevant design skills to enable you to design and manipulate pixel-based images and vector graphics for print and display. Almost every business wants to have an online presence in this digital era. We will guide you on how to create secured and professional-looking websites, blogs, and online stores. We encourage our students to engage in innovative, critical thinking, coupled with collaborative learning concepts and projects. For more information, visit us at Mall of Gambia, Bakote, office number 18, or call 7048-155, or visit our website at www.skills.gm/training.
Yes, and let me talk about this thing. In as much the youths are concerned, or we are concerned as youths, we also have to prioritize savings and investment. And it's very important. Sometimes it's very pathetic. But when I look at some youths complaining, I felt like they are not helping themselves. Because you see a youth who have been working very hard for months or a month, only to see him booking an apartment there. These are the hard realities.
Sure.
You book an apartment, you go with whatsoever so-called girlfriend, you spend some weeks in that apartment, you spend your entire hard-earned money.
But
You come back to the public.
that money could be used into something else.
To improve your life. Yes, to improve your own life. You come back to the public and say, wow, the government is not working, the government is not doing. But this is a joint collaboration. I want to believe the youth should think out of the box. Because if you use your small hard-earned money and you spend it on these things, you are helping somebody to progress, but you are denying yourself.
You are denying yourself.
It's already December.
You are enriching somebody owner of that apartment, right?
And you are denying it. And most of these apartment owners are people that they are wealthy. They have the money. You have to think about yourself, how to invest in yourself, and at least to grow.
I have this belief, looking at, like you were saying, many youths nowadays. I think I used to compare myself when I was a toddler to this age, and I used to say this to myself. Well, in as much as I'm not rich, but I'm realizing that what I can get today and what I was getting yesterday are two different things.
It's two different.
So that same thing applies to many of the other youths. We know now how internet is becoming a problem in the Gambia. Many youths are diving into the internet, getting money, but at the end of the day, only for you to see them driving, and they don't have compounds, they don't have even small enterprise. So you're using 20, 15, 10 on an apartment.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Like what some of the boys would say, though I don't have any idea of how it operates.
We are in December.
I don't have idea of how it operates. Is it the chantas or chanting or what? Some of them have a lot of money, but you don't know where that money goes. I don't know whether it do evaporate or what. But Gambians' financial literacy is a problem in this country. And the government have to come forward to teach people about the importance of financial literacy. December is coming, New Year is coming. We are already in December. New Year is just
some days away from New Year.
Yes.
Many people are planning. Going up.
I swear, some are
close to where what the latest.
Exactly. Some at this moment are even denying themselves correct dinner, lunch, and breakfast, accommodating money for a single program. You go and spend 3,000, 2,500. You come back and still complain on people. Where's your rationality? Where's your financial literacy ideas? Where did you put them? You see the misplaced priorities. It's not only within the government, but an individual level.
At individual level, people misplace.
So yes, this is the problem, and it's time we wake up as youths. Very important.
And I want to also believe, well, people have this ideology. Well, we did talk about how families are pushing their kids into this journey. Don't you think also at family level, parents should have this idea that traveling and having money are two different things? Because I know of people that have traveled, that have used this journey for almost more than almost 10 years now, and they, yet still the scenario at home is the same, everything the same, nothing changed.
Nothing changes.
So I think, don't you? I think parents also have a huge role to play with regards to curbing illegal migration.
Yes, exactly. That is to make their children believe
Yeah.
they can make it even in the Gambia here. But you know, if parents are whipping so much or too much, and then discouraging the kids even to stay in this country, is going to be a problem. We are encouraging them to go through this journey. Like you said, we have a lot of folks in Europe. They spend more than 10 years there. Some of them don't have paper like how they used to have.
Yeah.
They don't have a good job there. You know, some of them are even thinking how to come back, but they find it difficult. Some of them married, their women are here.
Yeah. Kids are here.
Kids are here, and that is causing more problems at home. And your intention was to leave home to develop home. But your departure from home is causing more harm
than good.
At home. And we have to think about this. This is why I said we can make it great here if we think of where to spend our resources and how to spend it. It's very important. We don't need to be in a hurry. Like I said, growth is a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone.
Today, the reason why we are all championing Singapore and other European countries.
Singapore didn't just wake up.
No, they sacrifice. You know, in the Gambia here also, patriotism is a problem.
It's a problem.
People don't really want to sacrifice to see this nation development.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying this, I will substantiate it because people are only interested about themselves, not about what will interest the masses.
Yeah.
You understand? This is the thin line between patriotism and people who are self-centered.
Self-centered.
I'm sorry to say, but we are so much self-centered as Gambians. Yeah. This is the problem. You just want to grow a seed today. You want it to, germinate.
You want to have a seed.
You want to have that spot.
Yeah.
Peasants, we also lack peasants as Gambians. And I think, like I said, there is a lot to be done when it comes to attitudinal changes. I think all this problem is associated about attitude. Attitude. That's why we say why Gambia is not developing when Singapore is advancing. When is it Seychelles is advancing? African countries. Huh? These are the ideas. Yeah. We have to study how they have maneuvered from all those challenges to arrive at this, point.
Yeah, I think that is important. You need to know what your fellow or your friend or how another person, what are some of the routes that he or she took to get himself up there before you think of developing yourself. Because I have this belief that you cannot just wake up. Let's say this is iPhone, I want to make a phone. I don't even know how the manufacturer of this phone started. So I want to just jump up. Perhaps I may have something like this, but it will be difficult to get the exact individual.
Very right. Yeah. Very right. That's why I said our education system is empty.
Empty. Yeah.
And this is the hard fact.
Yeah, training certificate.
Look at here. They will teach you how to use a camera. Yeah. Take events, programs, or whatsoever. But never will they teach you how to manufacture that camera. Never will they teach you how to manufacture this phone. How to manufacture that car, that motorbike. But they will teach us comfortably how to drive it and the safety is involved.
Sure.
These are things that the government needs to think about. Don't only build how to call skill centers, but make sure there's an industry where those skills centers can explore to develop and innovate something.
Yeah,
it's very important.
In fact, that will bring me to another very important clause. And there's right now we have many skill centers that are inaugurated by the government.
Exactly.
And they are absorbing the youths, training them. But at the end of the day, you will realize that these youths are trained, they have that skill, but they lack that avenue to to showcase their talents, to show
talent.
what they have grabbed from those skills
I think it's not far from the reality. Let's look at most of the projects, especially construction projects under the purview of the government. Normally, it is normally contracted by people outside. Why not our own people? We are denying them to be employed on things that we have even trained them on.
We have trained them about, yeah.
This is the problem. You know, I'm not trying to be xenophobic or whatsoever.
Sure.
But most of these construction centers you see is done by these Lebanese.
Yeah.
They are the only one you see. The
roads, Lebanese, it will be
Senegalese. The roads, the same. Constructions about buildings, government institutions, the same. And we said we have an institution like GTTI or whatsoever where we are training our youths.
So in essence, we have GTTI, but we don't trust GTTI.
We don't trust our own youth to even take about those contracts. And we are paying millions of dollars on those contracts. And those monies are going outside the country. We are losing. And I think we have to think. In as much we want to finish, we want illegal migration to stop.
Yeah.
We must also be willing to trust in our youths, accommodate them, create the jobs, give them contracts to do, and let them stay at home. Otherwise, they will go and then do the same thing. Because some of them in Europe are gardeners. Why can't we have gardens in the Gambia? Some of them are doing farming activities there.
In fact, there is this recruitment to Spain that is going on, and you look at that recruitment, you realize that most of the people that they are seeking for is to go and work into the
agricultural department. Yeah. What is wrong with our agriculture when we have more youths that are unemployed? You know, this is not going to solve. To me, it's a good thing anyway, but it's not going to solve the long-run problem that the Gambia is yearning for. Remember, these people are just going on contractual basis. When it expired, they must come back. And if they come back now with that small little amount of money they have, how are they going to manage with it?
Sure.
Is there any industries
they have families
or platforms that will support them so that when they start a business, they will grow? These are the things that are lacking, you know? So I think the agriculture needs to be explored. Let people forget about unending workshops. We are not seeing the benefits of those things.
Yeah.
You know, these are the things. We have to speak about these realities. Every now and then is workshop, flying from one plane to another. What are we producing? What are we rearing? When it is Tobaski, we are bringing rams outside the country. You know, we have to make our youths get employed in this country.
The last point that I will want you to discuss about is, like, we've talked about the effects of migration. Now we want to center it onto the economy. You are an economic student. I believe you have that expertise to know about if we are losing these young men into the waters, into the Sahara Desert, into Europe. Do you think it has a reflection onto our economy, and what are some of the risks that our economy would be exposed to? Given that illegal migration is the order of the day?
Well, it has a big negative impact on the economy. Because remember, it is youths who are leaving. And these are potential youths that are expected to be in the labor force and then work. In as much we want Gambia to produce something, in as much we want productivity to be effective, we need the youths to be in, we need their inputs. So if these youths are leaving this country and going, the negative impact is that it's going to have, there will be no productivity in this country. The labor department will be adversely affected at the end of the day. You know, this is why I made mention about brain drain. Because even the people that we schooled are discouraged. They don't have hope, they are leaving. So which country is benefiting at the end of the day? Are the countries where they have advanced. Those of them who have successfully, you know, maneuvered through the journey to Europe, the European countries are the very one that will, you know, benefit from those people, because we know a lot of countries in Europe right now, they are suffering from an old age population.
Yeah, an old age population.
They need our youth to go and then work for them, improve their economy, when we even have our economy that is sinking in a heavy yoke. You know, so you can see the implication that it will have, and this country will not grow unless we have our youths back. And the second thing, It's going to lead to a lot of distraction even in our education sector. Yeah, we have lots of brilliant youths that are leaving school and then taking the journey they are going. In fact, they don't value education anymore. You know why? Because, like I said, the education is not tailored to accommodate us in the economy. It's not providing us jobs. So we are seeing it. Yes, this system is already empty. It's an empty vacuum. It cannot accommodate us. Let's use the journey and then go and find a better life. This is it. You understand? So it's really going to have a lot of negative impacts. Because in as much also you need investors in this country, you need people. If youths are leaving, who are the ones that investors are investing in?
Okay. The old age that we have.
It's going to be difficult, right? So I think the government really need to be alerted of what is happening. I want to believe they definitely know what is happening. Let them come with tangible solutions, solutions that can be implemented. I don't know what is the problem of this country. We have the best policies, we can formulate policies, but implementation is a problem. And one of the reasons why implementation is a problem is not because we cannot implement. We denying ourselves from implementing because we know if we implement those policies, it's going to benefit the masses. And you as an individual, you will not be able to amass those resources for your self-interest. This is why people are giving a blind eye from some of the wonderful policies we have in place. And these are the deception that people are using to live a better life. A luxurious life. Leaving the youth desperate and thinking about going to Bagri.
Mr. Jeng, that is a very important point. I think you rightly mentioned, it's like we have the best policies, but how to implement it, perhaps. If we know that if we implement it, it is going to cost us another way around. So we don't want the masses.
That is the feeling we have.
We want to continue exploring the masses. So that
exactly.
The rich will remain rich and
the poor will remain poorer. So the gap will just expand and then get wider.
What will be your final advice to the government? Your final advice to the parents out there? Your final advice to that group of persons that are responsible, or if not responsible, but that are contributing to these illegal migrations? Because we need this illegal migration to stop. We need our youths here. They are the labor force. They are the force that we need to change the settings of this country. So if they are leaving for Bagwe, honestly, it is creating a huge gap in our development sector, be it in education, in economy, even in our social lives.
All right. First of all, I'd love to thank you people for having me here to really delve into this topic. My advice to the government is let them accommodate the youths in the system. And how should they accommodate the youths is to create jobs. You understand? To reintegrate programs, to provide microfinance, businesses also. They give loans to, businesses that have already been established and those that want to also be into the entrepreneurship, life. And the only way they can do is to train the youths to make sure they have equipped themselves with enough skills so that when they are given loan, they will know how to go about their money, because financial literacy is very important. And then the second thing is also let them reform the education system. It is not in line with the available jobs in the market, and it is not in line with how the world is advancing. The government have to think about this and then, provide something, a curriculum that, at the end of the day will equip up with skills. Let them start it from right at the primary schools. Today we need digital technology. We need to be digitally equipped, So I think it's very important. We should not only be a system that are just exposed to reading books.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what are we going to produce?
Nothing.
And again, let them try to institute what we call trade substitution industries. Because I believe in that way, some of the raw materials that we just transport going outside would be processed here. It will be used here, the remaining will be exported. And that is going to be a huge benefit to the business. Let them also try to establish anti-corruption measures, not only establishing it, but also to enforce those policies so that perpetrators can face, how to call it, the law. Because already most of the youths are discouraged about what is happening. We have seen commissions where people amassing, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars that could have been used to help the youths to improve and develop themselves. So I think there should be accountability and justice should prevail, because we cannot let few individuals to micromanage our resources at the expense of the poor masses. I think the government really need to think about this. And the other thing also, that the government should do, let them try in as much as they can to track these traffickers, because they are causing more harm than good. Most of our youths, they keep playing their minds, take them from this country. When they leave this country, they find themselves in a very funny situation and a very, very sad situation for that matter. Some of them, will be subjected to, brutal beatings, punishments, and then the like. So I think the government also have to think about that angle. They should come with measures and establish a proper border measure also. Let them cooperate with the surrounding countries to make sure they solve this problem. It's very important. And to the youths, let them know growth is a stepping stone. The life they have worth more than anything they think of in this world. To me, it does not worth it for you to risk your life along this journey. Because at the end of the day, when you lose your life, you have lost your life, you have put your family in a very, very difficult situation. Your family, your friends, and loved ones. Because it can even have a negative implication on your mom, your dad, your siblings, for their entire life. They can't come back to normal. We have seen that happening in families. So I think let them also think about this whenever they are trying to make decision to take this journey. Is very important. And then the second thing, let them prioritize investment and savings. It's very important. I don't really like youths who will go and then work very hard just to go and then, how to call it, book an apartment, go with a so-called girlfriend, and then spend the entire money you have. Or some of them, you see them will go to the beach. Enjoyment is important in human's life, but let's moderate it. When you are young, you prioritize what we call investment and saving, so that you can secure a better life in the future. You enjoy, but you want to spend everything at this moment. Honestly, is really going to be difficult. So I think the youths also need to know that financial literacy is something very important. Let them try to learn this as much as they can. Let them also look for people who can guide them when they need to embark into business or whatsoever. These are very, very important things. And let them not risk their life in the journey. We know the risks that are involved. I made mention about the risks associated with the Sahara, where people will drown at the end of the day, the cold that is also killing some of them, the desert, the scorching sun, some of them will run out of food and water, they will have heart stroke at the end of the day, they will die. And how traffickers also are subjecting them by demanding ransom from family members and then they like putting your family in stress and a lot of other things. So for me, it does not worth it. Let them be here and then see how best. We have seen people leaving their businesses and then going. So for me, it's not about because poverty might play a role, but some of them is not about poverty. I think lack of contentment is there. May Allah grant us the heart of contentment. And to family and societal level, we should stop marginalizing and comparing. Because the more we tend to do that, the more damages we are causing. And we are forcing our youth out of the country to take a risky journey with those not worth it. Let us equally see them as important as those in Europe. Not everybody can travel. Not everybody is a traveler. Right? There must be people who must be successful, and there must be people who must depend. We are not saying the youth here depends on people entirely for their life, but these are natural things that are happening. Someone must be successful and someone must depend on the other. And it's important we look into this and let them stop trying to label the youths as, how to call it, useless. No, it's wrong. You're trying to do that, you agitate. They're human beings, they have heart. The moment you try to portray that image on them, you are forcing them to go out. Let us see how best we can help. And again, one thing I want to make clear, which is I think is very important. Gambians, we don't want to invest in our own country. Do you realize that?
Sure.
Go to countries like Senegal or the neighboring countries, you see there are people supporting their own people. Let's say if you are initiative, you can innovate, they support you. They make sure they invest on you to build you because they know at the end of the day, you will be able to employ other hundreds youths.
Sure.
This is how a country goes. But we should not be self-centered. Let's try to help the youths. Let's try to develop as a nation. At the end of the day, Gambia is for all of us. If it fails, we will all succeed. People saying we will all leave this country, that is not possible.
That is not
We
possible.
all cannot leave this country.
Sure.
We have children. We are hoping to have wife and children in the future. We need to build. We need to close those loopholes. Honesty is important. I think we have to emphasize that. Let us be honest. When you are put in places, know that you are representing people, not yourself, not your family, right? And people should start holding accountable their own people. They Gambia believe that, oh, it's my relative or this and that.
Sure.
No, when it comes to accountability, particularly in a position where we are representing the entire country, remove those kind of kinship or ties there. Know that you are representing people that you might not have any relationship with, and you owe them a lot, and you should be subjected to accountability. So I believe honesty is important. Let's try to be honest. I believe if we are honest, our attitudes will change. And a change in attitudes is going to lead to a greater positive impact and a greater development in this country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeng. It has been a wonderful moment with you, and I've learned a lot from you. And I believe the youths out there will be listening, and they will learn a lot of you. I believe the families will be motivated to
encourage the
accept the youths rather than marginalizing them or even forcing them to embark on this risky journey. I believe also the government will revisit their policies, will revisit their education policies. Like you rightly mentioned, our education policy, some will have this feeling that it's not fit for purpose.
Exactly.
Those group of persons that are also forcing our youth out of our country to also be told that wealth and enjoyment are two different things, and you don't need to force somebody to be wealthy, but you need to leave the individual, help him so that he will become wealthy.
Exactly.
I've been your presenter, Madam Koli, and our guest today in the studio was Mr. Alasana Jeng. I'm a student of the University of the Gambia School of Business and Public Administration, and a very big thanks to our able cameraman, Socio-economic, for the wonderful coverage. You can follow SS Media TV both on YouTube at SS Media TV, on Facebook, and on TikTok, and you can click on our YouTube page, ssmediatv.gm, and you will have you will view the full episode of this coverage. It has been a very wonderful moment with you, Mr. Jeng, and to the listeners, thank you very much for following, and you're welcome until we come back again next Saturday.